Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar Today, the channel where we cut through the noise and bring you real grounded analysis on the currencies that matter most right now. Today we are covering two stories that are making serious waves in the currency community. One involves the Vietnamese Dong and a private rate number that people are whispering about. The other connects Iraqi oil income to something called a contract rate for the dinar. Both stories are moving fast. Both deserve a careful look. Here is what I am going to do for you today. I will walk through exactly what is being said and where it is coming from. I will separate what sounds credible from what sounds like wishful thinking. I will explain how oil revenue connects to exchange rate decisions. And I will show you what a redemption center number actually means for people who hold or trade currency. No hype, no guarantees, just clean thinking and plain language you can use. Let me start with the core of the Dong story. Online communities have been buzzing about the Vietnamese Dong showing a new, stronger number inside what people call redemption centers. These are private settings where a small group may be shown potential payout figures. These numbers are not the official exchange rates you see on global trading platforms. They are not posted by the State Bank of Vietnam. Yet, when a number like this spreads through online groups, it changes the mood fast. Confidence shifts. Chatter accelerates. People start making plans based on a figure that has not been publicly confirmed. The public Dong rate has stayed relatively steady across recent trading sessions. That gap between private whispers and public data is exactly the thing you need to watch. When those two lines stay far apart, caution is your best tool. If this kind of analysis helps you think more clearly about your currency positions, do me a favor right now. Hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an update. We are just getting started and the next part gets even more specific. Coming up, we connect the Dong whispers to the dinar oil story, and the link might surprise you. Stay right here. So now that you understand what redemption center numbers are and why the public Dong rate tells a different story, let us connect the two headlines. The Vietnamese Dong chatter and the Iraqi Dinar oil talk are not the same situation, but they share one important thread: confidence. Both stories are fundamentally about whether investors believe a currency can carry more value than it currently shows on a public screen. For Vietnam, that confidence comes from trade and exports. The country has spent years building a powerful manufacturing base. Electronics, textiles, and industrial components flow out of Vietnam into global supply chains every single day. That kind of export strength creates real structural demand for the Dong over time. But here is the tension. A sharp currency jump can hurt those same exporters by making their goods more expensive for foreign buyers. Policymakers have to balance growth against competitiveness. A sudden, large revaluation does not happen in isolation. It requires a clear public decision and a managed transition. For Iraq, the confidence story runs through oil. Oil is not just one of Iraq's exports, it is the foundation of how the government pays its bills. When oil prices climb, state revenue improves, budget pressure eases, and there is more room for policymakers to consider currency-related decisions. When oil prices fall, that room shrinks fast. This is why people in the dinar community have latched onto the idea of a contract rate tied to oil per barrel. The logic sounds clean on the surface. Link the exchange rate to a real, measurable price. Use commodity income to back currency value. That logic has appeal. It also has serious limits, and we will get into those limits in just a moment. Before we go further, if you know someone who holds dinar or dong and they are hearing these same rumors, share this video with them right now. They deserve clear thinking, not just hype. Share it and let them decide. Stay with me, because in the next part, I am going to break down exactly why a contract rate tied to oil is harder to pull off than it sounds. The details matter, and they will change how you think about this. Let us get into the mechanics of an oil-linked contract rate, because this is where a lot of people get excited without fully understanding what would actually need to happen. For a currency rate tied to oil to be real and market-recognized, it cannot just exist in a private room or in a community chat. It needs a legal foundation. That means a government document spelling out the exact rule. Which oil price benchmark is used? At what price level does the rate activate? Who administers the conversion and under what conditions? After the legal foundation, international recognition has to follow. Global foreign exchange platforms and large banking institutions would need to accept the new framework before it changes anything for everyday holders. Central banks and major financial intermediaries protect themselves by demanding verified documentation. A leaked number without a paper trail does not move those institutions. They require multiple layers of confirmation before updating their pricing models. Then there is the volatility problem. Oil does not sit still. It reacts to geopolitical events, supply decisions, production cuts, and global demand shifts. Tying a currency rate to a moving commodity can create sharp swings unless the policy includes specific smoothing mechanisms. A well-designed plan would need to account for that. Without smoothing rules, an oil-linked rate could create more instability than it solves. Right now, talk of a contract rate for the dinar connected to oil per barrel has been circulating in small communities for a long time. That circulation has not produced a publicly released document that global markets can price. Until a formal mechanism is published, verified, and accepted by recognized institutions, the standard exchange rate processes and central bank guidance remain what drives the dinar's real value. This is not me dismissing the idea. It is me asking the right questions. Where is the official paper? What are the rules? Who has validated it? Those three questions turn a rumor into a policy, or expose it as wishful thinking. Drop a comment below right now. Tell me, are you watching the dinar, the dong, or both? I read every comment, and your answer helps me decide what to cover next. Do not go anywhere. In the next part, I am going to show you exactly what signals to track so you can tell the difference between a real move and a rumor with no legs. Now let us talk about the tools you can actually use to separate real signals from noise, because this is where most people in the currency community fall short. They hear a private number and treat it like confirmation. They see a screenshot and treat it like a policy document. The result is emotional decision-making during rumor cycles, and that is usually when retail holders lose the most value. Here is a straightforward framework. First, always check official central bank communications. For the Dong, that means the State Bank of Vietnam. For the dinar, that means the Central Bank of Iraq. Their statements are the primary reference point. If they have not said it, it has not happened at the institutional level. Second, track major exchange platforms and global price feeds. These reflect real traded prices across millions of transactions. A private redemption number and a global exchange rate are not the same thing. Think of it like comparing a single auction result to the average price across an entire market. Third, follow trade balance data and export figures. Real demand for a currency shows up in trade flows. If Vietnam's exports are rising and reserves are building, that supports a stronger dong over time. If Iraq's oil revenues are climbing and budget management is improving, that is a genuine foundation for a currency conversation. Fourth, watch oil market reports and production decisions from major producers. These affect Iraq's fiscal position more directly than almost any other factor. When you combine these four sources, private whispers become one small input inside a much larger picture. If a private number aligns with improving public data across all four areas, it deserves more attention. If it floats alone without any public backing, it remains rumor. One more thing worth saying clearly: online communities create social momentum. When many people repeat a rate number, it starts to feel real through repetition alone. That is social proof doing its job. But social proof is fragile. One credible denial from an official institution can collapse it quickly. Hope is useful. It drives research. Skepticism protects your capital. You need both working together. If this breakdown is helping you think more carefully, subscribe right now and turn on notifications. I cover these stories consistently, and the next update could be the one that actually matters. Stay with me for the final part, because I am going to close with the exact watch points you need to monitor and a plain language summary of what all of this means for your position right now. Let us bring this home with clear, practical thinking you can act on starting today. Everything we have covered, the Dong whispers, the dinar oil contract talk, the redemption center numbers, the social momentum cycles, it all leads to one central question. What is actually worth watching? And how do you know when something real has happened? Here are the 5 signals that matter. First, an official statement from a central bank that references a rate change or a new exchange mechanism. That is the clearest possible signal. Second, a publicly released legal document explaining any contract link between the dinar and oil prices, with specific rules, benchmarks, and thresholds. Third, consistency between private numbers and what shows up on global exchange platforms. If a private showing aligns with public market movement, that alignment is meaningful. Fourth, sustained oil price strength combined with visible Iraqi budget improvement. These two together build the foundation for a real policy conversation. Fifth, rising Vietnamese export data and growing foreign reserves. These are the structural conditions that could support a stronger dong over the long term. Not a single private meeting, but a sustained economic trend. When those 5 signals begin pointing in the same direction, the probability of a real, lasting move increases significantly. Until they do, treat every whisper as an early input, something worth monitoring, not something worth betting everything on. Patience is not passivity. It is the discipline that keeps you positioned to benefit from real confirmed change when it arrives. Avoid over-concentrating in any single speculative position. Know your risk tolerance before you make any move. Consult a licensed financial professional for significant decisions. This content is not financial advice. It is structured thinking to help you ask better questions. The VND and the dinar are both worth watching. The stories around them are worth following carefully. But verified data, official documentation, and public policy action are what separate a real opportunity from a well-circulated rumor. Thank you for watching all the way through. If this gave you clarity, like this video right now, share it with your community, and subscribe so you catch every update. Leave a comment and tell me what you want me to cover next. I am watching the central banks, the oil markets, and the exchange feeds every single day, and I will bring it straight to you.